Hi Pisces, welcome to your April 2021 Astro Update. It's Raina here. All right, well, you're the one who, or I should say, one of the signs that's going to experience some money mojo because as the month of April begins, now of course every year this is going to be the case where the sun is in Aries, and Aries is your second house of earned income, so that doesn't change. But depending on other factors, yeah, it's probable that Mercury will always be so close to the sun that maybe it's always going to be in Aries too. But I'm not entirely sure about that, especially if there's a retrograde. It might be in your sign. Who knows in some years. But in any case, as we begin April, we're going to have the sun in that second house. We're going to have Venus, which is the ruler of the second house, in its own house. And that's good for money. And it's actually a double good thing for money. And then on the 3rd, Mercury is going into that second house. So your mind is on your money. So that is also a great thing. Now, especially with Venus there, that could indicate that you already are generating money, and maybe Mercury is you organizing everything, like the things you're going to buy, because Venus can be luxury items. Second house can be those things that you buy that you don't really always need it in that moment, but you want. And they could be high ticket items, and you have the money to do so. So that's really exciting. Spoken from somebody who has Taurus rising. Now on the 11th, there's going to be a new moon here. So again, the emphasis is on this material area. 22 degrees of Aries. Now another significant situation around that is that 22 is the master builder number. It's a master number. If we were to reduce it, it would reduce to 4, but you're not supposed to reduce master numbers. But it's a higher, I guess it's considered the higher vibration of the number 4 or something like that, which is the number 4 is connected to Saturn and is about this grounding of the material energy. So this is at a higher level. So around the 11th, you may be doing something new that is associated with money. Maybe it's a new source of income or an idea for a new source of income, with Mercury also being in this house. New opportunities, what have you. On the 14th, Venus goes into Taurus. So we have the sign that is ruled by Venus. Venus goes into the sign that it rules. And, it's really funny because I just told you that when Venus was in Aries, it was in its own house, the second house. That's the house that it rules in the universal chart in the sign of Taurus. Now, on the 14th, Venus is going into Taurus. So again, this is like a double Venusian energy. In your chart, this is the 3rd house. Venus in the 3rd house can bring money associated with writing projects or teaching. You might have money to take a course that is improving your skills in some way. And the other thing about the 3rd house is it can be siblings, brothers and sisters, maybe having some kind of an issue with money with them, but there's a harmonious aspect to this, harmony with neighbors, finding love in your local area. It could be, the 3rd house can be your local area. And on the 19th, Mercury and the sun go into Taurus. So there is more energy pouring into that civic-minded area. This is the area of social media. I've heard somebody mention that this was the area of social media. Now, the third house, this is where it gets a little bit tricky because the 11th house is connected to the internet through technology and also the masses. Okay, so the house of Aquarius, the 11th house is associated with that. However, the third house has always been the house of communication. And because the internet is such a big part of that these days, we have to include the internet for the third house. This would be, in the past, communication came in the form of snail mail, and what do you call it? Just even like the telephone or something like that, or writing. However you communicate with other people. Now it still can be those things, but it's also going to be in the area of the internet, and media can be the third house, so the news and journalism and things like that. Now, if that's your field, this is simply talking about maybe a new job, especially as May rolls around, and you're going to have a new moon in this area in May. But a lot of activity. Maybe this is with siblings or cousins, extended family members, who knows. But there's a lot going on here. But if you are in education, this can certainly be a good time for it. Like, getting hired in that field. Yeah, that, definitely could be a good thing. But you might just be like more of a chatty Cathy. That was actually a doll before my time. But I do like that phrase. Okay, so on the 23rd, Mars goes into Cancer. There's your fellow water sign. Now, this is a water sign ahead of you because we're never, even though you're the last water sign, we don't just stop with you. We go back to the beginning. So Cancer is the first sign. So that is going to be your fifth house. The fifth house is a real fun house. And this is the area of pleasure. Mars is the libido. Can you do the math here? So this is the sex drive, and the fifth house can be recreational sex, any kind of recreation, actually, including sports. So Mars is very physical. Fifth house can be competitive. Well, Mars can be competitive. Fifth house can be sports. So that can be, what you're into. You can, even this is an area of creativity. So if you are a dancer or something where you do creative movement, then this is right up your alley at this time. Mars is giving you extra energy and drive, and the fifth house is creativity. So somebody who is an artist might just be like really putting your all into a particular piece of work. So this can be like you can just be very active in this particular area. If you are starting a new business and April is a great time for launching something, then this can just give you this, even if you have like a day job and you're doing it on the side, it can give you like inexhaustible energy to prepare a business for launching. On the 26th, we have, and also I want to say too that Mars, or the fifth house, can be conceiving children, so you might be trying to have a child. On the 26th, a mere 3 days later, we have a full moon in another water sign, this time Scorpio. And Scorpio is the water sign behind you, so it's going to be the ninth house, and this is going to be, well, I mean, for some of you, especially earlier degree Pisces people, this will be in your ninth house, and this could be ending some kind of travel that you've maybe like a vacation, or if this was for work, or if this was for your university. If you were studying abroad, then that might be ending. Actually, this could be finishing up in college altogether, or if you worked in academia, finishing there. This can be, finishing a long writing project. This might be a spiritual download with the ninth house, where you're really realizing the meaning of your life, what it is you want to do with your life. I'm talking about at a higher level. This is the bigger picture. For the rest of you, and this is going to be the majority, this is going to fall in your eighth house. The reason I can't say definitively is because I'd have to see your chart to know where it's going to fall. By the way, this is also for Pisces rising. I should have said that at the beginning. And I think a lot of you know that. But anyway, for the rest of you, this is going to be in the eighth house. And this is always a very profound and intense full moon when you have it falling in the eighth house. Now, this is Scorpio's house. So not only is it in the sign of Scorpio, but it would be there. And that could be like a very profound revelation that comes from deep within yourself. The eighth house is the shadow, and this can be bringing something up for you, like buried trauma that you realize has been affecting you much more than you thought and impacting your life as a whole. This can, and Pisces is a very astute sign when it comes to your, perceiving other people and what makes them tick. All the water signs are very good at that. The only thing is that sometimes with yourself, you may not want to see it. And this is where that infamous Neptune self-deception can come into place. And it is really because of your sensitivity that you would prefer not to sometimes delve into something, whole hog, so to speak. But this can also end addiction because full moons can be that kind of like a crisis point, but also that maybe you could say like a satiation point, satiation point, where you no longer want to do something. The eighth house can be a house of obsession. So even with people, if you have found it very hard to like let go of somebody, this might be the time when it just happens and you're totally able to let go of somebody that perhaps you were having an on again, off again relationship with. So it can be like deep work, inner work that this relates to more than anything else. So what a way to end the month. 2 transits in water that, so these are trines to you, and that's very positive and, supportive. So Pisces, I hope that this resonated. And if you would like a personal reading, I am promoting my double readings for the simple fact that on my end of things, it just gives me more time to do a thorough job and to explore more things. I have a reading called the Deep Dive reading, which is a double chart reading, looking at your natal chart for 1 hour, at least 1 hour, and at least 1 hour of transits for the coming year or 12 months. And then I have the whole enchilada, and that's for people who like tarot readings. Full-length tarot reading, full-length chart reading for a special price. You can find those readings and other readings I offer at the link below. I'm at RainaMoonAstrology.com. Thank you for listening. Have a great month. Take care. Bye.